right, we're going to try this one more time. I don't know what's going on. It's just, yes, you do still get P1, Jason Suchich. I'm sorry about that. Welcome to the show. I'm your horsepower and performance broadcaster, Terry Bridges, and this is the Northwest Race Report, informing, improving, inspiring racers everywhere. And my co-host sitting right alongside of me is the one and only Glenn Lippy Tower. What's going on?
It's all good in the hood tonight. I got nothing in my ears, though.
Oh, yeah, you don't?
No, nothing over here.
Wow.
Coming through it all. There's a little bit. Nice. I can hear myself now. It's even better.
Good there. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I had it working perfect. I guess I probably shouldn't have touched it. But we got a great show for you tonight. We got the closeout for the Salem Speedway karts. We've got Steve Mortland going to be coming on the show. He's going to be just for a splash and dash, quick 4-tire change. And he's got some exciting news coming up tomorrow, Thursday, up in, is it Mukilteo? Is that how you say it?
Mukilteo.
Yeah, it's something like that there. So, and then our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest is going to be a guy that we've had on before, but he's going to be on again because we're going to do a 3-part series on the 3 Ps of promotion. And we're going to kind of just retouch on the first one of those. And then we're going to touch on what's going to happen on the next show. We're going to go back to back with this series. And the next one, we're going to give you some rules. And we're going to see if you guys can't meet those. And we get some club and organization input. Don't you think that's a good idea, Lippe?
Yes, it is. Definitely go along with what I got to say today.
Right on. And, of course, we've got Lappin' with Lippy. Lippy, you want to give him a little what's happening?
Today we're going to be talking about how valuable you are.
How valuable who is?
That's to find out.
That's to find out. You got to hang out to find out. And this is the Northwest Race Report. Let's move on, since we're kind of behind the times because we've got about 4 minutes here. Our Winter Circle Wednesday brought to you by Wicked Fabrication, innovative and custom auto fab by Wicked Fabrication. Craig Wick and the gang doing a great job out there. So when you think hot rods, think Wicked Fab. They're online, www.wickedfab.com, and check them out on Facebook as well. Stop by and give them a like. Let's see. You didn't get to go to Salem. I did. Boy, it was a brutal turnout. It was really brutal. 37?
Oh, that's a bummer. They had such a good season going too.
Yeah, just crazy. So, anyway, the results.
Oh, very good.
Yep. So Kid Karts went to the. Can you guess who won it?
So are we going on who won that day, or are we going on?
Well, no, we're going to go on who won on Saturday. This is the event, and then we'll touch bases on the final points. But can you guess who won Kid Kart?
Well, Sizzle and Seth's been doing pretty good, but there's been some rivals there.
Yes, his name is Graham Trammell.
Oh, nice.
And he wins it going away, big time. Junior 1 4-cycle went to Jamie Weber. Junior 2 2-cycle went to Jasmine Hildebrand. And Layden Flint was the Junior 2 4-cycle winner. First time there. That's Dennis's son.
Wow.
Yeah, he did a really good job, for just getting out there. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Yamaha Light, there was only 2. Brandon Day ended up winning it over Tasha Negley, and he had some problems in the first heat. Didn't run the second heat, so he got him figured out. But nonetheless, Brandon was trying some stuff. He looked pretty good in the main event, so he had that one going away. Heavy was a battle between, and guess who was in that? Mike Michelson.
Oh,
he makes
nice.
it. Yeah. So it was Michelson, Beard, and Kravitz. All 3 of them, they were going at it. Kravitz, they had one apiece. Come main event time, it was Beard. going away. Let's see here. What else do we have? That's about LO206. We had a new winner.
Oh,
by the name of Tony Williamson. He beats Hatch. One apiece again. Comes down to the main event. And, here we go. What is going on, Steve Mortland? Are you there? Hello? Are you there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, buddy, we got you there now.
I can hear you fine. How are you?
Well, I'm great. I'm a little frazzled at the moment, but
oh, what's wrong?
well, I'm just having some tech problems here, but I'm just not sure I'm getting it. But are you guys hearing that noise? Are you hearing the buzz noise?
No.
Okay, you're not. Maybe that's just me then.
Like you're on a speakerphone.
No, I'm not on speaker. Not now, but I am on. Got you plugged into the mixer here. Ladies and gentlemen, our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest, our first one tonight. He is the host of North Sound Racing Radio, 1380. It's on Thursday nights from, 6 to 8? 7 to 9?
7 to 9.
7 to 9. And his name is Steve Mortland. So, Steve, what's shaking, Bacon?
Well, first of all, I'm sure you probably mentioned this, but I called to wish you a happy birthday, first of all.
Well, thank you.
And secondly, I'm excited about you coming up to join us in Mukilteo at Tracks tomorrow night.
Absolutely. That is going to be cool stuff. So, now I hear it's the Sunoco 300?
Well, you're close. It's called the Snowco 300.
Oh, the Snowco. Okay.
Snowco 300, yeah. And we are it's kind of hard to describe, but we're going to have a bunch of racers there from all sorts of different, from Skagit Speedway and Evergreen and all over the place, plus anybody who wants to just get on the track and just have a blast of a time at Tracks. And we've got trophies thanks to Evergreen Speedway, and it's going to be a fundraiser for the Big Al Kids and Motorsports Foundation, so there's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
Well, now let me ask you, so how is it going to go? Are the people that are going to show up, you just going to make a race out of that, or is there actually a field of drivers already signed up to do this?
There is a field of drivers that are already signed up. In fact, I think you can still get onto tracksracing.com.
Yep.
And you can, just a second here, I've got you, and I was going to try and mute you. There we go.
There we go.
Tracks has got some sort of a bracket system in place. I don't quite understand how it works, but there's going to be a champion at the end of the night, and they're going to be paired up with, you'll have a couple of different chances to go out and establish lap times on the transponder system, and then they'll make these brackets and kind of pare things down. So there'll be trophies for first, second, and third place, and a couple of special event trophies that they've got going on. So the guys at Tracks, Chris and his gang, have just done a marvelous job getting this thing put together, and it's the first annual. So like as you well know, the first time you do something like this, it's it'll have its issues, but we're just excited about having a place to start doing something like this.
No, absolutely, that's got to be super cool. So you've already got a field of drivers though that are going to be there for that, correct?
Correct, and then obviously anybody who wants to show up at the door, they're more than welcome to do that as well. If you sign up on tracksracing.com, I think you get a $5 discount on the entry fee, which I believe is $40, and then it's going to be $45 tomorrow night at the door. And again, portions of the entry fees, every one of them, is going to go to the Big Al Kids and Motorsports Foundation, and they will guarantee you 2 different sessions out on the track.
Wow!
And more as you advance forward.
So now are you guys going to be on a PA there, or how's that going to work?
We're going to do a live broadcast. We're going to broadcast this thing exactly like a race that we would broadcast out at Evergreen Speedway.
That's
where
cool.
You come in. That's what I'm really excited about. You're going to be our on-track guy, and you're going to be the one that's going to be interviewing drivers, and there's some elected officials and dignitaries that are showing up, and you
Wow.
kind of get to go wander around all over the place and talk to whoever you want to talk to, and Tom Glithero and I are going to be doing race calls, and it's going to be just like we were at a racetrack.
Good deal.
Broadcasting a race live on the radio.
Well, I think I'm going to bring Lippy if that's all right too. If
by all means, I'm honored to meet the guy. I haven't met him yet.
yeah, you'll be pleasantly surprised. I guarantee it. But so
Well, I
so
hope he is too.
so what time do things get started up there for in case some of the racers want to head up?
If they want to get there around 5:30, I think that's when the first group of cars is going to go out on the track. Is 5:30, and then by the time they get all the sessions in and everything's settled down, we're gonna broadcast the thing on KRKO. That will probably start somewhere between 7:15 and 7:30. And the reason for that is that KRKO is broadcasting the duels at Daytona live,
Mm-hmm.
and that starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. So they figure that that's going to take probably up until 7 or 7:15. And then after that's done, they're going to go right to us out at track. So we're thinking somewhere between 7 and 7:15. So if you can't make it, you can certainly listen to it either on Fox Sports 1380, or you can listen to it on NorthSoundRacing.com, or you can listen to it on the tuned-in radio link, the KRKO link on tuned-in radio. So there'll be a lot of ways people can listen to it, both through, if they're out driving around in the Everett area,
Right.
or if they're sitting in front of their computer.
Well, now, are you guys going to have a mixer set up there?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
cool. Maybe I will just bring my phone. I can do that, and everything will go right over through that, too. So maybe if any of the racers want to tune in, they
whatever
can.
you think we're going to need.
They can.
It's not a big one, but it's enough to do what we need it to do.
Sure, absolutely. How about a wireless? You going to need that?
No, we already got.
Okay.
Thanks to Evergreen Speedway, they're donating their wireless microphone. They're also their assisted listening
Oh, yeah, cool.
device. So you and I can talk back and forth, and you'll be able to hear exactly what Tom and I are doing. And if you need to cut in, you can cut in and do your report. And this is gonna be big time radio, pal.
Good deal. I'm for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is gonna be a whole new deal for you, because if I understand correctly, I don't know if you've done anything on the radio like this, have you?
Not official radio stuff. No, not with the headsets and all
radio.
that stuff. Yeah.
You've done it on pirate radio. And
Well, yeah, and I'm not doing a very good job of it as of right now. This thing's been giving me fits, but
one thing that at KRKO, that Tom Lafferty, who's the he's the kind of guy who does all the programming and stuff like that. He goes, and I'm gonna say the same thing to you that he always tells me. He goes, there is not a thing that you're going to go through that we haven't gone through 25 or 30 times before, and it's a part of, it's just the nature of the beast. When
Right.
you have equipment that takes a dump on you, and you go off the air, you figure out a way to get it back on, and of course you freak out like crazy, when it happens.
Yep.
But you just got to remember that it all plugs into a wall, and everything that you plug into a wall can turn off with a switch and turn back on and reset itself, and this is just a part of the game, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, but you just hate to have that screw up. You're trying so hard to be professional, and the thing just not cooperate. I had it working perfect 2-3 hours ago. It was working great.
Oh, of course.
So
Of course you did.
Go figure. Well, hey, that sounds like a great time tomorrow night. And
it's going to be a blast.
It's at Trax Indoor. Is it Kartway or Trax Indoor Karting?
Trax Raceway, and it's on the corner of the Mukilteo Speedway and Chenault Beach Road. And I am looking for an address, which I would love to give out to your listeners that may be interested in coming up. The address is 4329 Chenault Beach Road, and Chenault is spelled CHENNAULT Beach Road, and Mukilteo. So if they put that into their GPS, they'll get there.
Awesome.
And their phone number is 425-493-8729.
Cool deal. How about one more time? 493.
425-493-8729.
Okay. And anybody's invited. They can come and check it out. And things are going to get started about 6 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, between 5:30 and 6, they're going to start getting the cars rolled off. And, I mean, people obviously have to get off work. And
right.
There's not going to be a whole gob of people there right at 5:30. But,
right.
When as far as the radio broadcast part of it goes, we're going to stay on the air until there's a winner and a grand prize winner, and you'll be the one that gets to interview them. And
sweet.
And we'll go from there.
So Steve, what is the format we're going to be going under? Are you going to have heat races, or how's it going to play out for everybody?
Well, I think what they're going to do is they'll give each racer 2 sessions, I believe 10-lap sessions out on the track, and then they'll have their times. They'll have their average lap times, and then they'll group. I think they're going to group the average lap times together, and then put them, as they progress forward, do like a 2-car move up or 3-car move up. They want to try and have about 10 cars out on the track at any given race.
Okay, so it's going to be like a time-in type of deal, and then you'll get set into groups that are like in times, we'll say.
Yeah, so it balances out.
Yeah, no, that's great. I just trying to figure out how it's all going to work out, but geez, that sounds great.
Yeah, I think we're going to find out a lot more about it tomorrow. I was talking with
That's fine.
I was talking with Chris at Trax about it a couple of weeks ago, and they've got a really well-proven system, because they do a lot of this kind of stuff, for corporate groups that, a bunch of testosterone-driven employees want to
assert themselves,
find out who's the man, and they have a way of making it happen. So, and it Trax, I don't know if you've been there before.
Have not.
These carts that they're going to put these racers in, I mean, they are top-notch stuff.
Oh, great!
Yeah, they, they're all got transponders on them, and we'll have a iPad. With Tom and I will have an iPad, so we'll know who's in the lead. We'll know, it'll be like when you came up to Evergreen last season, and we were using transponders, and we were having lap times and all of that kind of stuff, and we're going to make it try as big a deal as we can make it.
Good, I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, hey, Steve.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
We got some stuff to wrap up before we get our second in the seat guest tonight, but appreciate the call. Look forward to hanging out with you tomorrow and doing some cool radio stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Lippy, and Terry. It's always good to see you.
Absolutely.
And, we'll tear it up tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Big Al is a great cause, too.
Wasn't he, though? Al
Yes.
was a great guy, and there are so many great people, and you're going to meet a lot of them tomorrow night that are carrying on the foundation. Clint Schlotfeld has put together a great group of people, and it's we're doing a 50-50 raffle tournament event we're doing on Sunday for the Daytona 500 as well. So we're going to try and keep that whole thing going, because you're right, man. What Big Al started, a lot of people are really interested in keeping going, and that's, it doesn't get any better than that.
Big Al, big heart.
Awesome.
Yep, exactly. Very well put.
All right, Steve Mortland, thank you so much, man, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
You got it. Thanks a lot, Terry. Appreciate the time.
Hey, no problem.
See you tomorrow, pal.
Okay, bye-bye. Steve Mortland, everybody, host of North Sound Radio 1380, and you can check it out live on Fox Sports 1380 tomorrow. I think they stream it live. If you have TuneIn Radio, you can get it there. Otherwise, you can call up the Tracks if you want to attend the event. 425-493-8729 is the number you need to call, and from there, we'll rock and roll it. But getting back while we still got a few minutes, LO206 went to Tony Williamson. So it was him and Hatch 1-1.
Oh, good race.
Right? Heat. Comes to the main, and Williamson goes bell to bell with Hatch in pursuit, not more than a half an inch off his bumper the whole way. Hatch couldn't do anything, and Williamson goes on to win it. I don't think Hatch was too thrilled with it, but nonetheless, Williamson wins it. Went to give him a pound, and Hatch said, I'm not happy right now.
He's a prideful man.
So that was that deal. And then the Super Sports, the King was back, Danny Cahill. And I don't know if he thought maybe it was just going to be a cruise through the park, but he had a rough day. He ended up going backwards into the turn 2 wall, broke his carburetor, so he pulled off early, but Flint was the guy. Dennis Flint went on to win it. And that is pretty that's pretty much, that wraps up just about everything that went down there.
Any fart carts left? On
Oh,
that
yeah. There were, my bad. The fart carts. Brandon Finch wins that one going away. He was basically, Weber was there for the first heat. He had some problems. Brandon Finch was ghost. Adios. Beard finishes up in the second spot. So, yeah, it was a pretty good day. 37 entries. That kind of hurt, but
It happens in racing.
It does. And before we get going, we'll try to get a couple of the results in. So your champ in KT Light for the series indoor is going to be Corey Markham from Wetline Racing. Brandon Day second, Daniel Spear third. Let's see here. LO206 is going to go to Chris Hatch, your winner. Brian Green, consistency, hangs in there. He'll be in the runner-up spot. And Greg Normandin, who was, we'll get you those. I'll get you those after lapping with Lippy, our first annual indoor Northwest Race Report Awards. But he was an award winner, Greg Norman. Steve King was fourth. Let's see here. This looks like a huge one. Julie Day wins the fart carts.
Nice.
Yes, how's that, right?
Awesome for her.
Yep. She wins it. Mike Michelson second. Chuck Waldall third. Let's see here. I'll go down here a little bit. Super Sport Heavy obviously goes to Dennis Flint. Ty Easton second. Dave Wooten third. Jeff Paris fourth. UAS Open, Renee Angel wins that. No end of the year awards though for them because you have to have 80% show up in order to get that.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
And so none of that. So let's see here. Markham, yep. And then we go, Kyle Wick ends up 3, 4, 5, 6. He ends up 7th, only running a few races. And so that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Here we go. Ray Smith. Are you there? Are you there? There you are, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can right now. Get ahead, look good, and stand out with Blue Line Graphics, taking the track by storm, one kick butt design at a time. So BLGs, you'll love BLGs. Great looking, unique, and durable racing graphics. So get on by www.blg.blue. Pick up your graphic kits, logos, and more. So be sure you check them out. Man, who's on your phone, man? What's that?
Hello?
Are you there? Oh, you got that on speakerphone?
Oh, no. Can you hear me okay, or is it a little echoey?
A little, yeah, I can hear something in the background.
Yeah, nothing.
That's weird.
How's that?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Is that better?
Yeah. For those of you that don't know Ray, he was on our show earlier, actually when we were down at Passanantes. But he is I wouldn't say the inventor, but he's been applying that to several of his what do I call it, endeavors. And it's the 3 Ps of promotion, which are people, the process, and then the final product. So we're going to do a 3P series on this, and we're going to kind of just touch back tonight and brush up on that first one, which is the people. Ray, where did you first hear this 3P message? Are you there? Oh, there he is. We lost him. Are you there, Ray? You're there now, right? How about now? Are you there? Are you there, Ray? Oh, I can't hear you. Maybe I should call you. What's that?
You're there, right?
Hello?
Maybe we try calling him.
Yeah. Let me try calling you. How's that, okay? So I'm going to go. I'll try calling you back here. Okay. So we'll try give him a buzz here. I don't know why. All right, here we go. We'll give him a buzz here.
I lost you.
Yeah. And you got to turn your show down if you're listening to it on the background. Are you there? Are you there? Hello? Ray Smith?
Hello, Terry. Can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. Are you there?
Hello.
Ray, are you there? Wow, weird. I don't get this. Well, I guess this is the show that's going to be the problem child, right?
Not happy show.
Ray.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here now. How about you? Are you there? Yoo-hoo.
Hello.
Yoo-hoo. Where are you? I don't get it.
Anybody home? Anybody
Are you
home?
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you?
There you are.
Hey, we
What
found.
the heck?
We,
Well, I think if you've got the show on, that's going to kind of probably, mess things up. If you got it too loud, there'll be an echo and crazy stuff going on. But
Oh no, we got her on mute. I just can't hear you on my phone without it being on speaker.
oh, that's weird.
that is weird. Well,
Yeah,
you're coming in good. So whatever's working right now, we need to stick with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know why, because I've got you here clean as a whistle. So, but anyway, for those of you that don't know Ray, and we'll start over again. He has applied this 3P thing to his club as of the last couple of years. And Ray, where did you first originally hear the first 3P message that kind of got that going for you?
Terry, it's kind of funny. I just plagiarized it off the TV series The Prophet. Good old Marcus Lemonis.
Ah. And he is the owner of Camping World. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, he's the president. Yep. Yeah, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel, right? You just need to pay attention and adapt some of the things that people have already done and put it into a format that you can use it and be successful or make improvements with. So that was my idea.
Absolutely. So you've been in the sport now for a couple. Well, you've been in the sport forever, but I mean you've been back into it with the Shark. But looking around, going all to the different places that you've been down in California, the Nationals, all around here on the Gold Cup. Now that you're the governor of Idaho, what do you think is? I mean, what is the biggest problem right now that clubs or organizations or whatever? I mean, what is it that they're facing that's causing them grief?
Well, Terry, I think that's an open-ended question that is going to take a little more time than 20 minutes what we have here this evening. But is one area that I'd like to break down and just talk about out of the 3 Ps, which you mentioned earlier, which is people, process, and products, is talking more about the people. And we did a show. How long ago was it? About a month or so, about 2-3 months ago. We touched on this. And
it was right at the end of November, I think it was. So yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, so we talked about it. And I just want to, if we can, let's just touch on. I want to start from the beginning, just do a refresher course on the people, share some ideas,
Absolutely,
some comments,
absolutely,
and just share some experiences that we've had locally, and this relates not only karting, but it relates to other aspects of I think everybody's life, and what they do or what extracurricular activities they participate in. And one of the things that we've done as a club at Snake River Carters, and one of the things I hope is co-coordinator of IKF Region 6, working with Mike Shorn, is to look at the people in the different at the different Gold Cup events, and do we have the right people in the right places? And a lot of times that's volunteer based, and it's much appreciated. I know people are sometimes sacrificing some of the things they want to do to volunteer. But last episode that we talked about this, if you recall, my focus was having the right people in the right places. And so I'll just back up a little bit. We'll start with at the club level, for example, with volunteers on a race day. Having who's that smiley person, Terry? You see the first thing at every track you go to. Who's the first person you see when you walk through the gate?
The one taking your money?
Yeah, the gals in registration.
Registration, exactly. So that's the face of the, in my opinion, that's the face of the club. That's the face of the event, and it can all start right there with most people. So to have the right person in the right place would be somebody with a cheery attitude, people person. It's hard to plug an introvert into that position and as a volunteer and have positive results. It can be, although everybody has their own personalities, it could be viewed as a negative, just simply the lack of talking, right?
Correct.
So is what we've done is broken it down at Snake River Carters, broken it down into coordinator roles. And one thing that I think has contributed to that success is you break this big pie up into a bunch of pieces, and you ask for volunteers to take ownership of scoring registration, tech, event coordinator, which consists of gathering all the volunteers together, as far as corner workers, flagmen, grid steward, and we just go down the list. And is what that does is allows people to take ownership of that piece of the pie. And we found, I've heard time and time again, volunteers. Yeah, we don't get any volunteers. We don't get any volunteers. We went through a phase where we were scarce on volunteers as well. And one person can't do it all. So the thought of breaking that down into smaller pieces and having the conversation with for instance, a coordinator is, hey, you own this, top to bottom, front to back, you own this, and there's a sense of pride and ownership when you kind of open that gate at that level and let somebody take the bull by the horns, and that's been extremely successful.
That's the tough thing to do to find the right people for the right roles, though. As long as you appoint somebody that duty, things seem to work so much smoother. It's just like you said with the ladies in registration being the first face you see. That can start a day off well or start it off on the wrong foot altogether. So I totally agree with what you're saying there about the right people in the right places.
Yeah, look, and we all get volunteers. I mean, the clubs, the motorsport, the karting motorsport is, in my opinion, it's untouchable. It's the most awesome motorsport there is to be part of. In my opinion, for the cost involved, and people want to volunteer, and they want to have they want to create or make something, put their personal touch to it. And by putting, somebody might say, "Hey, Ray, I want to be race director." And as we all know, hey, that's a pretty big, pill to swallow, right? Especially on race day. And if that person is argumentative or is just has a brash type of personality or is not maybe a good communicator, it's not that they can't do the role, but you stand back and you look and you go, where could we put you in a volunteer position to give you some experience to working into a role as race director, right?
Yep.
So instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, Bob Jones wants to be race director," everybody kind of goes, "Oh," you go down through the list and say, "Hey, Bob Jones volunteered to be grid steward," and that person, Bob Jones may be very assertive. He may not be, the best people person or have that personality that is what I'm looking for. That's outgoing, but he stays to schedule. He can look at a schedule and go, "Hey, it's 8:15. We need kid carts up here," or it's 9:37. World Formula needs to come up to the grid. And being in that position gives that person the ability to wear a headset, to listen to the chatter on the radios, and to gain some of that experience. And they may, 9 times out of 10, with the Terry and the listeners, those people look at that experience and they go, "Wow, I had no idea that the race director role was that involved, and you guys talk that much on those radios." And they're kind of excited about it, yet they're kind of maybe nervous about it. So guess what they volunteer to do next time?
Run the scales.
They volunteer to be grid steward again, right?
Yeah.
Because they feel comfortable, they did a good job at that, and they're being able to learn. They're learning a little bit of the overall responsibility, and that's the type of format that I think is successful.
Well, Ray, let me ask. So, back up just a hair when you said, okay, so it starts at registration, and then you're going to assign a coordinator that is going to help with the volunteers. Now, is it gonna? Are you talking one coordinator that's gonna kind of work the whole thing, or are you talking about breaking it down to where there's a coordinator for the corner people, maybe a coordinator for the scales and the grid, maybe there's another for the tech? I mean, what would be the best way to break that down?
Terry, how we broke it down, we've got, as a club, we've got scoring and registration coordinator. They own the house, right? They own the scoring and registration trailer or office, right? Mm-hmm. And they're responsible for all aspects of that. Waivers, the computer being up and going, for registration,
right.
QuickBooks being online,
everything.
Everything that's encompassed in that. Okay. Then we've got an event coordinator. The event coordinator takes care of the corner workers, scales, and the grid steward. Last year we had tech included in that, and I'm not sure how we're going to go about it this year. But tech is a pretty big responsibility as well.
Absolutely.
So that event coordinator is also responsible for the flagman and the racetrack. Then we've got the facilities coordinator. So as a club, who's going to be responsible for the overall facility? I'm not talking just on race day. I'm talking about during the year. So who's going to coordinate the projects? Who's going to organize the contractors or the volunteer efforts? Then we've got a practice coordinator who's going to coordinate practices. Who do we call? Who's the go-to person for practice? We post a practice schedule, and then we also have a contact team. That person is ultimately responsible for practice. And then we've got a marketing and media coordinator. That's a huge piece of the pie.
That is big nowadays.
With Facebook and Twitter and
everything,
the website and all the above. That's a full-time job in itself. So in a nutshell, there's the 5 or 6 coordinator roles that we've worked with the last couple of years, let's say, for the partisan, and we've seen that work very well. I'm looking, Aaron.
He just put that the club president should oversee all the track's issues, and and that's a true statement. He overlooks it, but that's why you delegate some of that stuff, because otherwise you're not going to be able to really do your responsibilities either. I mean, you're there to kind of guide and oversee everybody and make some final decisions if, for whatever reason, those coordinators or the people volunteering can't, come up with a rational or reasonable solution to the problem.
That's exactly right, Terry. And Aaron's exactly right. As a club president, I do have the responsibility, and I rely on Joe Ransom, our vice president. I rely on Jordan Schnitzker, our secretary. I rely on Jen Anderson, our treasurer. As an elected team, right? We rely on each other and we utilize each other's strengths. And at the end of the day, the responsibility does roll up to us. But to break it down, to break that pie down into 10 pieces or 6 pieces or however many pieces you want to break it down into, it makes the overall experience by all more enjoyable. And furthermore, it takes that burden from the person that raised their hand or put in the phone call to get put on the ballot for that year's, for the previous year's voting ballot to get elected as president. One guy, let's face it, it doesn't matter if we're talking sprint, if we're talking sprint or asphalt speedway, if we're talking road race, dirt oval, indoor, dirt oval, outdoor, motocross, outlaw, I don't care what it is. One person can't do it all. And the coordinator roles help facilitate that volunteer effort. And like I mentioned earlier, gives those volunteers a little piece of the pie that they can put their stamp of pride on. And believe it or not, people take pride in that. We've seen it, and they take it seriously. And I have yet to start a race without the proper safety personnel in place or officials in place. It's never happened in the last 3 years that I've been president of St. Croix de Pers. It works very well.
It sounds like it does. So where does trust fit into all this now? Right? So you've got your elected, and furthermore, actually, maybe I should back up before I go to the trust thing. So where do the board members fit in on this now? So you've got some coordinators and you've got some volunteers. So now there's the people on the board. What is, like everybody's, one place it's like this and another place it's like, really, what's the board's overall fit within this 3P system?
Okay, so in the 3P, the people, right? The board members. Go ahead. No,
I was just going to say, I get it. They are the people, but you've got the event coordinators and you've got your volunteers that they're responsible for. But then we haven't talked about the members of the board. The president, the vice president, the treasurer. The I don't know, maybe there's 2 or 3 just regular
board members.
What then becomes of their duty as a board member?
Their responsibilities as a board member?
Correct. Where does it fit in on all that? You've got your coordinators that you assign, which I'm sure they could probably be one, but does the board, where does it fit within that piece of the pie? Do they have any duties other than just making up that board?
Yes, so we do have, let me back up. We do have board members that are coordinators. This year, we've rolled out each of our board members. We've got a scheduled practice or a practice schedule. Each of the board members have a practice weekend, right? So our board is very active in our club and in our events as far as volunteering, whether it's a race event, whether it's a work weekend event, whether it's tapping into resources that they have. To bring benefit to the organization. We're thankful. I'm thankful for that, and we have a very cohesive board. I'll add, and we've got a couple new board members this year, and again, I'm thankful for the board of directors that we do have. We work very well together. And to that note, we don't always agree. It's not always 100% yes. It's we have some good dialogue, and I'm a huge proponent of the board, speaking your mind and voting how you feel or what you feel is right. The board does a lot behind the scenes, and sometimes they might not be the ones out holding. There might not be 6 board members out of 9 out holding flags as corner workers. We usually do have a handful on a race day event, but they're doing other things. They're doing tech. They're the event coordinator. They're doing other activities that support the organization.
I think the board members are such a vital part of making an organization work. I mean, and you shouldn't have a board that agrees on everything all the time. I don't think that's healthy. People should be able to speak up and not feel, put down or put aside or not listened to. That's never what any organization should be about. But just having vocal board members is a big deal, and to also have them being a part of race days and being a part of what happens is huge. So often people just get there and show up and don't say anything or don't do anything, and that's never helpful for our cause at all.
That's true, Luke. And one thing we went through a cycle. We had, the elected officers and the board. I'll just use a general term here. Did everything, and that makes I'm not a proponent of that. I think that volunteers, and we've seen over the last couple of years with these coordinator roles and putting the right people in the right places, that you don't have to be a board member or you don't have to be an officer to volunteer. Matter of fact, I would rather have, and our ratio is to the greater of volunteers that are not board members and not officers of the club that participate during our race events. I think that's healthy for a couple of reasons. One, it opens up the door for everybody. And doesn't limit the work to or the efforts just to the board members and or the officers.
Right.
It gives the people, the general membership, the opportunity to see what happens on a race day event in the event that they don't attend every monthly club meeting and so forth. So I think it really helps, and it really drives the grassroots of the organization deeper by having non-elected officials volunteering. I think it's great, and it's worked very well for us.
Definitely a critical part.
And I think the one other point that does too, whether they be actual members of the club or non-members or even new people, you get that outside looking in rather than inside looking out, and you might get some things. The simple, why are you doing it like that? Why wouldn't you do it? And you go, wow, I didn't.
For sure,
we didn't think about that, right? It's just somebody getting a different look at it.
Definitely.
Yep, for sure. Now, as far as, and I'll just expand a little bit because I see a little different, management style on race day at different tracks. We have a pretty steadfast rule. Our board doesn't run our race events, and that question's come up before, and I pull that back into having the right people in the right places. Right, our board manages the overall process, which we'll get into in a couple of weeks, of the club. And as long as our elected officials, myself, Joe, Jordan, and Jen, are steering the ship in the course that we set forth in the beginning of the year, the board is just making sure that we're traveling, or that we're driving along the path and we're staying in between the lines, right? At the end of the day, at a race event, the race director has the ultimate authority at that event, and not myself, not the president, not the vice president. They may, we may have a conversation if they need some, if they need some help, or they need some mentoring, or they need to bounce some questions off somebody. But at the end of the day, we hold steadfast to the roles and responsibilities of those that have taken those roles, and kind of the rules, or the guidelines that we've set forth. So it's pretty cut and dry. It's very transparent.
Well, it's a big thing, really, to, for somebody to step up and volunteer. We'll just say the race director for the day, somebody to step up and do that. And, to let them own it and let them, make their decisions. Everybody sees things differently. And if you're always micromanaging, you're going to micromanage your way out of help right away.
Very true.
For
Very
sure.
true.
Always answer questions, but yeah, never undermine or over authoritize what you have, especially when somebody else has taken the time to do that, because they might have seen something you never saw. So yeah, I agree with that 100%. Once they decide and take the job, it's theirs, and they own it. On the same token, though, I wouldn't hang them out to dry if they're catching a lot of heat. I wouldn't be afraid to step in and burden some of that heat for them and take their side, because that's really part of the whole club.
Would be very true, and by having those defined roles on a race day event, or the defined roles in the club as a whole, you create this cohesive energy, and you work well together, because everybody understands, right? And if on race day the race director is getting a lot of heat, depending on how they're handling the situation, yeah, it may be appropriate to kind of throw them a lifeline, right?
Yep.
And help them through, and more importantly, probably help the person that's bringing forth the concerns, probably more so helping them through the situation, right? And turn it into into a positive experience, or a positive situation the best that you can. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just adding your perspective in, because they might have only seen it in theirs. So yeah, definitely that helps out a lot. And usually, as people settle down, most of that stuff goes by the wayside. But it can be a big help to try and burden some of that.
Sure. Yep. And so is what I like to say in closing is just the right people in the right places, and we get volunteers. We all know that every club's a volunteer organization. Some clubs hire some services, which is just the nature of the beast. But the right people in the right places. We've got to put the right people in the right places, and utilize the volunteers and the experience of those people to the best of their ability, and to the best ability of the club, to enhance the experience for all. And sometimes it's not, it's easy to say, yeah, we'll put you in that spot and volunteer, and it's sometimes difficult to say, hey, have you thought about this? Because you may have a different perspective on where their strengths are than they do, and really working with that person to apply their efforts, their skills, their talents, and their volunteering in the right area. It is just essential.
For sure.
Hey Ray, before because I don't want to lose anybody before we give these rules, but so next week we're going to go back to back with this. Next week we're going to have Ray back, and we're going to talk on, because this was kind of the brush up. Now we're going to talk to maybe some of the processes that he has put in play. However, we're gonna put a few rules on you just to see if we can because honestly, this message is huge. I mean, it truly is, and there's a lot of people, clubs, organizations, that type of can really need to hear this, because I mean, I'm listening to this and there's some super good ideas here, breaking everything down. But what we're going to do is, the rules are, we want you listeners out there, to bring your clubs forward. And Ray came up with these rules when we talked here a couple weeks ago, but your president, your board members, they only count 1 point, right? But if you have members, or you bring somebody new that's going to sit in, that's going to be a part of your club, was it 2 points, Ray, that we were going to give?
It was 2 points.
2 points. So it's a battle of the clubs, right? So get a hold of your local club, whoever it is. PKA, you get yours. You guys should be right up there. I'm sure Ray's going to get his folks at Snake Rivers. Maybe Cascade can get involved. Doesn't matter. Dirt, asphalt, doesn't matter. Road race, whatever you're doing. Aaron Stanford, you should get some of your people in here.
Idaho karting.
And just really have a captive audience to hear, because a lot of times they don't get to hear some of this information that goes on. And maybe if they see the process and they kind of hear about what the people are, it might just turn a light on, right? If we can save one butt chewing to the race director or a flip out, it's a win, right? So,
for sure. So Terry, how do you want to categorize that? How are we going to keep track of who's who?
Well, I've got my chat line here, and I know it that's what we discussed last time. It was going to be kind of hard to do that. So some of this, guys, is going to be on Scouts Honor, so to speak, right? But your people are going to have to sign into the chat line in order to really get counted. I mean, I think that's really the only way, Ray, that we're going to be able to actually
sign in. When they come in on the chat line, they just put what club they're there to support.
Absolutely. And then those notes can go back, because they stay with the show, so we could always go back and count them at the end of the show, or and then let everybody know the next day or whatever. Or we could try to do it, keep track of it live. So, but I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, let's do name and track. We'll introduce that. Next week on the intro. And here's, Terry, I want to throw something in here, because this is how much I believe in this is how much I believe in the 3 Ps, and this is how important I think the 3 Ps are. I'm going to put a $100 gift certificate to the winner, just for the process class. $100 gift certificate to Cartorama.
Did you hear that, Jason Suchich? So I know Salem doesn't have a club, but maybe the indoor people, I don't know. It's going to be kind of a touchy deal. $100 put up by Ray Smith, president of the Snake River Carters, to the club or to the group that wins the process, which is next week. We're going to be talking processes, some of the things that you should have in place to help keep your things going smoothly. To Cartorama. 100 bones to Cartorama, put up by Ray Smith, to the winner of next week's show. And that's, you got to bring your club. You got to have your members, your board members. If it's a board member, so if your president shows up, like Ray is tonight, you get 1 point, or Lippy. If he's the VP, it's only 1 point. But if you bring in, Scott Keeney, who is a member, you get 2 points. And the more you bring, the more you get, and somebody's going to win a $100 gift certificate to Cartorama. That's pretty sweet. Whether you're going to use it for a set of tires or a prize at your next event, nonetheless, that's pretty huge. That's really huge.
Yeah, Terry, and I'll like I said, I'll put that up. I'm not putting that up with with my responsibility as IKF governor or co-coordinator, Region 6 with Mike Shorn. Snake River Carters. We'll put that up. I'll put that up personally, and that's how much I believe in the 3 Ps and what the 3 Ps have done for us locally. That's how important I think that I think people need to tune in.
I agree. I mean, I just think it's good for the sport as a whole. It's just good for everybody. So, man, that's awesome. I'm actually looking forward to that bad boy. So next week, everybody, Ray Smith will be with us. And maybe what we'll do is we'll have any problem with you maybe calling in at like 10 till next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. And give him some more time because I'm sure he's going to have several processes. And don't kid yourself, folks. Ray is he works with a lot of big dollar sales and closings through his personal work. So, I mean, it's not, he's not selling pots. He's selling some pretty major, costly equipment. I mean, big dollars. So he gets the process thing. And so I think that's where it's going to be important for all of us to kind of hear what he's got to say.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it, Terry. I appreciate your efforts. Appreciate your energy. Lippy, it's always awesome chatting with you, man. And
I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, just thankful to be part of it, guys. So thanks for inviting me, Terry. Thanks for putting the effort and the the stamp and the importance on the 3 Ps. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Ray. Thank you for all your help because I learn something every time we talk. So that's a good thing.
You bet, guys.
Okay. Bye. All right, everybody. Ray Smith, president of the Snake River Carters. He's putting up $100 of his own money. That's how strongly he feels about these 3P things. And he's got some great ideas, Lippy.
Yes, for sure. Definitely has some great ideas. I'm very excited for the next couple weeks coming up. And he always brings a lot to the show and has some great information for organizations and clubs, to just try and absorb. And even if you can take away a few things or a lot of things, either way, he's got some great information out there.
Absolutely. So next week, bring your clubs. Board members are 1 point. Members are 2 points. Winner's going to get a $100 gift certificate to Cartorama put up by Ray Smith personally. Has nothing to do with his affiliation with IKF or any of that stuff. It's personally. That's how much he believes in what he's going to be giving us next week. So that's pretty awesome. We got you got time? You want to try to fit it in? You want to just roll? What do you want to do? You want to try to fit in? You got enough time?
Well, I'll go with Lapping with Lippy, and we'll see what we got left.
It's time. Right now, everybody, it's Lapping with Lippy.
Thank you very much, Terry. So tonight's Lapping with Lippy is brought to you by Scott Seal Coat. For all your sealing and striping needs, give Scott Seal Coat a call, and we'll either stripe it or seal it, whatever you need. So, I knew Ray was calling in tonight, and so I went with something that was very much on my heart and very much to do with what Ray had to say tonight. So tonight I'd like to talk to you, the racer, the family members, the crew, the people that show up on race weekends, organizations and clubs. They need you. You are what keep it all going out there. Without volunteers, it all just starts to fall apart, people. Most of these clubs are all run by volunteers, and that's what makes it all happen. It's you are a very important part of that. Jeez, that was tough for me. So, it takes a lot to make a race day go smoothly. Everyone sees the talking head, the promoter or the race director, i.e. myself. They think that that person's doing it all, but that's really not true. It's just not true at all. We rely on a lot of volunteers and workers. There's so many little jobs out there that need to be done. So, please ask what job you can do. It would make a really big difference. And, if there's something that you see that can help streamline the day's activities, sometimes that's, what we're, getting at and getting value from that person that's willing to speak up and say something and have a perspective. I, for one, don't have any problem with that. I handle constructive criticism or great ideas, So, if you see something you think will help the show along, for all means, say something about it, and I'll take it into consideration and take it to the club and make a decision on it if that's, something that I feel good about. Those are all things and ways you can help race days. Also, think about the clubs. You can go to meetings. Meetings are the way you can have a voice. You can get involved by going to the meetings and just listening to what's going on. It's an easy way to find a place for you to help out, or for something you can do if you don't want to say, hey, I can do that job, or I'd like to do that, or you just don't know how you can help. A great way to figure that out is just to go to the meetings and listen to what's going on. And maybe you've got a skill you don't even know you have, or you know you have and you didn't know it would help. By all means, it's about getting involved with with the sport. So get involved, make a difference. Clubs and organizations need you, and to keep what we love to do moving forward. Right now, there's a pretty good momentum in our sport, and I for one really would like to see it pick up speed, and so if you can, get involved, be part of the cause, don't be part of the problem, people. Just think about that when you're out there, and if you got something to add or a skill to add, just get involved and make it happen, because a lot of times there's people that have been doing the jobs and doing the positions for so long that they would so like to do what you do, and that's nothing. So get involved.
Absolutely. Lapping with Lippy. He's always got great stuff here. And before we close, I'll let you guys roll. I just want to let you know there's a lot of people behind the scenes that help make the show go. Wicked Fab helps out. BLG, Blue Line Graphics, Brian Esquini. I just got to give a big shout out to him. He redid my whole website for me. And if you guys haven't been by there, swing by and check it out. Give it a like. But more importantly, stop by BLG and give Brian a shout, man. He's just kind of helped take the Northwest race report to the next level. So I appreciate him so much. I can't thank him enough just for all the efforts and good things he's done. And, of course, Jerry O'Hagan. He's new into town. He's not new to us, but he's new into town. His new kart shop's in Lebanon, Oregon. And I encourage all of you to get by there or just give Jerry a call. Check him out on Facebook, O'Hagan's Karts and Supplies. He's a top flight guy. He's a straight shooter, and you're never going to get taken advantage of. I mean, you're going to know up front what's going on.
Good old fashioned service and equality.
Yeah, that's right. And they're here. We're working on a new ad for them, but I just wanted to personally say thank you to Jerry O'Hagan for stepping up and helping out the show. He was my very first ad recipient. He believed in what I was doing that much, and he jumped on and was there for 3 or 4 or 5 months until he had to move, and then of course he had to take a break. But Jerry, thank you for the belief. It's awesome. But I encourage everybody to check out O'Hagan's Karts and Supplies. They got a new website coming. It's going to be awesome, off the chain. And I'm going to have his ad ready next week for sure. But I just wanted to say thanks to that. Thanks to all the birthday wishes from everybody. It was just I couldn't keep up with them all. I mean, it was just a ridiculous amount of just happy birthdays. It makes a guy feel pretty dang good. I'll tell you that much for sure. So I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. It's just what do you say, Lip? What do you say?
Yeah, what do you say? BLG does a great job over there. They're good people. No job's too small, no job's too big. That's for sure. I'd like to have gotten in some Idaho Speedway karting stuff. I'm going to really try for that next week. They've got their winter series all wrapped up, and we've got some champs here in the kid kart. Brandy Ransom pulls it down, and Junior Animal, Peyton Cook, and senior 4-stroke was Ian McGuire. Sorry about that. So they did a great job over there. They've got a great mission statement over there, and I just want to read that in closing because I think it's so great. They do a great job over there. I love the group that comes over from there. Just great people. But here's their mission statement, and it speaks volumes. We are a group of like-minded racers that enjoy helping others and, most important, like to have fun. That speaks volumes to me. Speedway karting is exhilarating. It is a kind of fun that you can't match with any ordinary pastime. But one of the most rewarding aspects of karting lies in preparation and anticipation of trying out your hard work and seeing the fruits of your labor put to the test against others who just as much desire to win. Speedway karting takes place on asphalt and dirt oval tracks, which are normally between 1/10 of a mile and 1/5 of a mile in size. Speedway kart racing ranges in lengths from 4 laps to 20 laps. All of our main events. So there you go, folks. That's just a little bit of it. Find the Idaho Speedway Karting on Facebook and like them. Have a look at their page. See what they got going over there. It's a great bunch of people.
Awesome stuff. Hey, congratulations, Jasmine Hildebrand, our most improved driver in our Junior 2. Seth Waldall. Sizzling Seth. Wide open, no fear. Hard Charger Award goes to him. Graham Trammell, the most improved in kid karts. Dan Kravitz, out of nowhere award for KT Heavy. Jason Suchich, our promoter of the year. Eric and Alan Waldall, our most improved drivers. Hunter Meyer, the Hard Luck Award. Greg Normandin, our top recruiter and sportsman of the year, because he gave his own second backup kart for different racers to try it out. Wade Bauman in the Super Sports was our most improved. And Justin Beard was the out of nowhere award winner in KT Light.
For sure.
So those are the Northwest Race Report first annual indoor awards. We just came up with them kind of quick, but they'll get improved. We'll get some stuff going on. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, $100 on the line to the club that has the most points. So grab your club members. Come on back next week, 6:30 on the Northwest Race Report. Lippy, you got anything?
Nope, that's it. Thanks to Josh Colley for keeping me up to date with Idaho.
And when somebody's on the bottom, what do you got to do, Lip?
Head to the high side.
Go to the outside. Love you guys. Thanks for the birthday wishes. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.